Frostcraft and Sunbreak works almost exactly as it does in Iceborne. As a reminder of how Frostcraft works, it grants a special meter below your health bar that depletes as your lane attacks, and quickly recharges when your weapon is sheathed. At Frostcraft level 3, the meter is split into 4 parts, which I will refer to as stages, and depending on which stage the meter is filled, you will receive a damage boost as shown on this simple diagram. Note these are numbers that I calculated for the Sword and Shield only, so the damage multipliers could be different for other weapons. One additional effect that got added to Frostcraft and Sunbreak is that the meter will fill more quickly when using one of Velkhana's weapons. What I'm showing you now are the comparisons between using a Velkhana weapon and a non-Velkhana weapon. Now Velkhana's Sword and Shield is actually quite strong, making it a viable option for Frostcraft. But 2/3 of a second isn't that big of a deal, and you can definitely use other Sword and Shields with Frostcraft as well. Now what about lower levels of Frostcraft? Well, here's what Frostcraft level 1 looks like. You get 1 hit of stage 1, and that's it. Not that great. Here is Frostcraft level 2. This time you get a full bar of stage 1 and 1 hit of stage 2. This is a little better, but Frostcraft is really only worth it if you're building for level 3, since you want that 120 to 130% damage multiplier, which is only achievable at level 3. And also because the armor pieces that include Frostcraft aren't that great otherwise. If you want Frostcraft level 3, then you will have to equip Velkhana's chest, arms, and waist. The slots on each of them are pretty good, but the armor skills are laughably bad. The arm piece includes 3 levels of crit draw, which increases your affinity by 60% for a short time after performing a draw attack. This skill is not a reliable way to build for affinity since the effect only lasts like 2 seconds or so, and the Sword and Shield only has 1 true draw attack, which is either Advancing Slash or Sliding Slash, which you won't be using frequently anyways if you are playing Sword and Shield optimally. Regardless, crit draw is a dead skill. The waist piece includes 3 levels of focus, though unless focus somehow affects the Frostcraft meter, this skill is completely useless for the Sword and Shield. Not much more to say about that. And finally, the chest piece includes 3 levels of quick sheath. Now for weapons like Greatsword and Longsword, this skill is awesome. However, the Sword and Shield already has a really fast sheathing time, so with Quick Sheath level 3 you're only saving a few frames. Additionally, the Frostcraft meter begins to recharge during the sheathing animation, not after it, so it doesn't even help recharge the meter sooner. Not a great skill for the Sword and Shield, but it's probably the most useful one out of the 3 mentioned so far. If you are a PC player who uses mods, then you can probably remove the Crit Draw, Focus, and Quick Sheath just fine. If you are a console player or don't use mods, then you're gonna have to Curious Craft out those bad skills and try to replace it with something better. Using the Augment Skills Plus option will probably be your best bet. Here's a non-exhaustive list of skills you should look out for. So now let's talk about what a Frostcraft Sword and Shield playstyle should look like. Really, it should just be about the same playstyle as if you're playing without Frostcraft, but you need to be more conscious about sheathing your weapon. You don't want to never sheath, or else you'll never recharge your Frostcraft meter. On the other hand, you don't want to always be sheathing, or else you'll possibly miss an opportunity to attack the monster. And so there has to be a balance. You shouldn't be too caught up in trying to maintain stage 2 or stage 3, but you should also find opportunities to put away your weapon to recharge the Frostcraft meter. From what I can tell, this playstyle seems to perform better online with other people since usually there's way more downtime to take advantage of, but it can still be very powerful solo. When playing Frostcraft Sword and Shield, you really should be using Mechu Shorigeki. Mechu Shorigeki is Sword and Shield's strongest attack, and combined with Offensive Guard, you can hit really big damage numbers easily. This is me dealing over 1000 damage against Seething Basil. Here's one of my current Frostcraft Sword and Shield builds that uses Velkhana's Sword and Shield. For the armor pieces, we have Risen Kaiser Horns, Rimeguard Mail Gloves and Coil, and Omnio Sashiko. The charm I'm using has Crit Eye 3 with a level 3 slot. For Curious Armor Crafting augments, I have Master's Touch on the chest, Agitator on the arms, and Crit Eye on the waist. You'll most likely have different augments, so you'll have to adjust your own build accordingly. Here are the EFRs for my build, which includes all 4 stages of Frostcraft with and without Offensive Guard active. But what if we compare this to a more standard, non-gimmicky build that uses the Volcana Sword and Shield? Here's my example of just that, something I would build prior to Title Update 4. The charm in this case has attack boost 3 with level 2 slots, but I think the crit I3 level 3 slot as mentioned before should work as well. Note that this build doesn't require any curious crafting. Most of the augments are just for level 1 decoration slots, which are great for cheap defensive skills like Defiance and Stun Resistance. Here are the EFRs for the standard build. You can observe that the Frostcraft build is stronger than the standard build as long as you're at stage 1 or higher. So in matchups where there is a lot of downtime and opportunities to sheath your weapon, Frostcraft Sword and Shield can excel. However, if you're fighting, say, a Great Ragi for example, where it's better to just keep attacking constantly, Frostcraft Sword and Shield does become less effective. Now as I said before, you can use Frostcraft with any Sword and Shield, it'll still work just fine. Your Frostcraft meter would just recharge at a slightly slower rate. For example, this is my build using the Lunatic Rose. The charm has attack boost 3 with a level 2 slot, and the augments on the Volcana armor pieces are the same as before. The big difference here is the Flaming Astronaut's Brain for the extra attack boost. Here are the EFRs for this build compared to the Volcana Sword and Shield build. The Volcana Sword and Shield build is about 3% stronger overall. However, the Lunatic Rose has more hits of white than the Volcana Sword and Shield has hits of purple, which means you won't have to use Destroyer Oil to restore sharpness mid-combat. Additionally, the Lunatic Rose deals poison damage, making it a more versatile option over the Volcana Sword and Shield. Regardless, both options are really strong, and as I said before, you can use any other Sword and Shield with Frostcraft and still have plenty of success. Anyways, I think I'm going to end this video here. If I discover anything more about Frostcraft Sword and Shield, then I'll follow up in another video. In any case though, thank you very much for watching. If you have anything else to add, feel free to leave a comment down below. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and I'll see you next time.